that's in my house that doesn't know that I can see them, they seem to get upset. I mean, they get real upset. So,
which species is it that you think is doing this here? Do you have any idea?
Well, I got a Zeta-looking guy. He's sort of like the gatekeeper. He controls who comes in and logs down, who comes in and who goes out.
And the Zeta-looking, is that the Greys? Is that?
Yeah, he's a Grey. He's a little short guy. I don't even know if he has a name. I never talked to him personally or anything like that. He just stays. He always stays off by the gate when it opens. And then they got these one reptilian. They have close to a frog-looking face and a lizard kind of skin, and they're real big up on top with long arms and short legs. They're more like if you would take a silverback gorilla, they're built like that, very strong. And then I've had my visitations with the reptilians, which I got a photograph of them. I think it's the only one actually in the world, but a lot of people don't see it. But I caught them. There was two of them in the room that night. And I got them on a short clip of it. They just showed up because the flashlight, I used like a 1,000,000-watt candle light, one of these high-powered flashlights to show, and the battery dies really quick. But the light shines through them and then reflects onto that bowl that actually gives the panoramic view. It gives you a beautiful image of them, and the light is actually penetrating through them and then hitting the bowl, reflecting back onto them, and gives you the image.
So it's kind of backwards and reverse as well as that circular thing, too, huh?
Exactly, and it works in a concave mirrored way too. If the mirror's concave or if it's fish-eyed out, it works both ways. And in an old cheap mirror, like one of these makeup mirrors that are magnified by 10, and they got like an aluminum backing on it, those work really good, but it's hard to get a camera down there to see the rest of the room and do it. But you really got to listen to all that audio I got on there. It's there is an alien in that video. And it's like in the first 1 minute and 37 seconds of it, it's up by the window. And as the flashlight goes across the window and it shows them up, I actually got that broken down from frame to frame and shows the alien on the Phantoms and Monsters if you look at it. But that's the very first video of the audio.
But you can actually hear them though, huh?
Oh yeah, definitely. I heard everything. I could hear everything that was going on, the slamming the doors, and this was going on just about every single night. And nobody in the house was sleeping. And
I'll bet.
No, we really wasn't sleeping. I mean, I'm telling you, it was crazy. And it was then we got to leave the house. We got to leave, but I did a little experiment. Me and my wife, we took off about 17 miles away and got. Within 30 minutes we was there. We was already getting visitations at the hotel.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. They'll follow you.
Exactly. So that was proof right there that we can't run from them. And everybody said I would run, and how did you put up with it? Well, I look at everything scientifically, and I wasn't scared. And sometimes I got really nervous because I didn't know what was going to happen. When they carried me and my wife out of the house, we was totally awake. It wasn't right too long after this video here. I asked them, I said, are you evil or are you good? Give us a sign if you're good. And all of a sudden, we got the sensation of numbing vibration. It started at our feet and went right up to our head. And then it's like you felt like you knew what was going on, but you didn't care. And you feel them picking you up out of the bed. And they carried us out of the house, and we went into this room of like total blackness when they carried you to the gate. It was like total bliss. And then all of a sudden you came into another room, and there was like doctors and everything else, and it looked like it was in the background I could see like a bunker, a concrete bunker, and like a big airfield strip or whatever. It was just like all concrete, but it was like side buildings or whatever that it was carrying us through. And it carried me through the first room. In the second room, there was doctors, and the beds kind of folded down, but they was carrying me in underneath the armpits. They had their hands up underneath my armpits carrying me, and I'm like trying to hold my head up and look around. I feel like I'm like drugged up or something, but I'm still watching. And the funny thing is I can't remember everything from that, but it was about a month. It popped in my head that this happened. I asked my wife, I said, "You remember that?" She goes, "Yeah, I remember that."
See, that's were they alien-looking doctors, or were they?
Oh, there was alien. Definitely.
Yeah. See, I had them too. That's funny because I got an implant in my. I haven't told this whole story, so people like hearing about this. Maybe I had an implant in my leg, and it got infected, so it started just getting absolutely huge, and it started getting painful. And then one day it just erupted. I mean, my body just spit it out, and there's blood everywhere and stuff.
Wow.
So yeah, and I don't know about you, but I'm terrified of going to the doctor, man. I should have gotten this thing looked at for a long time, and you get that too, scared to go to the doctor?
No, it's more like personal privacy. You know, when you go to a doctor, it's like I don't like people looking in my nose and everything else.
Yeah, see, exactly.
And I don't like people taking blood from me, period. And these guys took a lot of blood from me. They take it from me quite often, yeah, I got an implant in the heel of my foot. I actually watched them put it in. It was like these 3 black-looking things. They reminded me of like a dime, but they kind of protruded out in the middle. And they drilled. I remember the bone dust in the air. You could smell the bone drilling, and they had these lights that shine down. You can see the bone dust in the air. And they inserted 3 of these things inside of me. I got to watch a lot of my operations, and I tell you what, these guys have got it going on. Some of the stuff, the way they do it, looks barbaric because they don't really make tools. They genetically engineer tools.
Right. Absolutely.
They do, and they actually they take off the first layer of skin, and they use this thing that looks like a leech, and it eats out the first layer because they can't save the first layer of skin. And then they take you off layer by layer, and cut it up, and they lay it in this tray. It has fluid in it. I don't know what the fluid is, but they'll strip you all the way down to the bone, and you can't feel nothing but the pressure until
that's exactly what I say. Yeah, pressure.
Yeah, so they're really good at it. But at one operation, they was working on my foot, and then the anesthetic or whatever they was using, the deading of it, was wearing off, and I was starting to feel it, and I let them know, and so they started hurrying up, and they put my toenails on. First, the toenails from my left foot on my right foot, and it wasn't fitting. So they took them back off, and they started bleeding really quick, and they grabbed these gauze, and they started mapping them up, and I felt that. I jerked really bad, and then they was trying to shape them and everything else, and they was trying to put them back on my toes, and it was just